Hey guys, this is Sandy. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Central Florida area and also a licensed loan officer. Today I want to do a video for you on what to do if you are selling a home to a family member. So what to know about selling a home to a family member, okay? Of course you could, but hey, let's get into it. Remember to like our channel, remember to like and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified each time we do a video. And we're also doing great videos for you. So let's get into it. The first rule of thumb is don't sell the property or home to a family member to avoid paying taxes. It will catch up to you, okay? Another thing is make sure you consult an attorney. Remember, I'm not an attorney, so make sure you consult an attorney about this. But let's discuss what are some of the stuff that you should know. The first thing is you gotta decide if you're gonna give it as a gift or if they're actually gonna be purchasing the property or if you're gonna be selling it at a discount. If you sell the property too low, the IRS may get involved to say, hey, was this an arm's length transaction? What's going on? Let's discuss what's an arm's length transaction and a non-arm's length. An arm's length transaction is a regular transaction where you're selling the property to a stranger. So it's a regular transaction. A non-arm's length, meaning you're selling the property to either a family member, a friend, or at some kind of discount. And this is what triggers the IRS into action. So if you're going to be selling the property, you want to make sure that you're actually selling it or if you're gifting it. If you're gifting it, you might end up having to pay gift tax or estate taxes on the property. So you got to be careful with that. So if you're selling the home to a family member, first you have to figure out what's the price. You don't want to discount it too much, because if you discount it too much, let's say less than 75% of the market value, then it's going to be another red flag for the IRS as well. You can also do owner financing. So if you're selling the home to a family member, you could do owner financing where, you know, this is if you own the property free and clear. So you own the property free and clear, you want to sell to a family member, then you could be the mortgage bank and, you know, do an interest rate, which is probably fair market value or a little bit less, and then they could finance the property through you. If you're selling, you want to make sure you figure out how you're gonna give deed to them. So you could do a general warranty deed, which means that they would be protected against any legal claim. You could do a special warranty deed, which means they'll be protected from any legal claim, but also any claim that they had against you before you sold the property to them. You can also do a quit claim deed, but if you do that, then it might not cover them from certain legal actions. So you want to consider either doing a general warranty deed or a special warranty deed. General warranty deed meaning you sell the property to them, they kind of cover, they own the property. With a special warranty deed, the difference is it also would protect them from any kind of legal action that may have been coming against you. So you have to figure out how much you love this family member before you decide to sell to them, because if you sell too low or if you gift it, let's say you just give them as a gift. If you gave them the property as a gift, then you are going to need to pay gift taxes or estate taxes. So it's almost like they inherited the property. So then estate taxes come into play. So that's you got to be careful of. Another thing to be careful of is if you sold the property to a family member in a non-arm's length transaction, then that would mean that unless they live in the property for 2 years, a minimum of 2 years, and it's their primary residence, when they sell the property, you might have to pay taxes on the amount that you sold the property to them for on a non-arm's length transaction, which means if you sold it too low, or if it's gifted, or whatever the situation is, if it creates a red flag in the IRS eyes, which you want to avoid, that's why you want to talk to an attorney, then you might end up owing taxes for when they resell the property for what you sold them the property for. So if you're going to be selling the property to a family member, it's a good idea to establish what's going to happen. Is it going to be a gift? I'm going to be responsible for gift tax or estate tax. So is that family member going to give me the money back so I could pay the gift tax? If you sell it at fair market value, no problem. If you want to give them a discount, you don't want to go under 75%, right? So 75% of market value is what you want to sell it for or more. Once you start to go below 75%, it becomes a red flag in the IRS eyes, and they may come after you for taxes and other implications as well. So it's a great idea to figure out how we're going to go about doing this. Another thing is the family member, if you sell it to them, so that means it's going to be a non-arm's length deal because you're selling to a family member, then you want them to live in the property for 2 years or more, and you want to make sure the property is a primary residence to avoid paying any taxes on the property when the person you gift it to or sell it to sells the property. In other words, you want to make it a clean transaction. So if you have a property or your primary residence you're trying to sell to a family member, it's not just, okay, I'm going to sell it to you, and because you're my family, the property is really worth $200,000, but because you're my family member, I'm going to sell it to you for $100,000, because that's going to be a big red flag in the eyes of the IRS, and they're going to come after you for taxes. Maybe the family member is like, okay, fine, you know, I'll give you since you're going to sell it to me for $100,000, I'll just pay you back whatever taxes they charge you. That's a deal. I mean, it's a family member. We could do that. Or maybe you could give it to them as a gift, and whatever gift taxes that you're going to have to pay, they might pay it for you since you're giving them the home as a gift. Or whatever estate taxes, they'll give it to you since you're giving they're giving it to them. So remember, guys, even when you inherit property, you got to pay estate taxes, only unless it's protected into like a living trust or some kind of trust that exempt you from paying estate taxes. Got to be really careful with this. So this is where attorneys come into play, and everybody's situation will be different. So you want to play into, am I going to give it them as a gift? Am I going to sell them at 75% or more market value? Am I going to just transfer the property over to them? And if I transfer the property to them, whether through a special warranty deed or a general warranty deed, is this going to trigger any kind of taxes or tax implication back on me? So these are some of the things that we need to figure out. If it's going to be a gift, we know we're going to have gift tax or estate tax. So the best solution would be, from all the scenarios we just discussed, would be to sell them the property at 75% or more of market value, or to gift it to them, but to make an arrangement for them to give you back that money for the gift tax. And how do we know how much the gift tax is? Well, we're going to have to go to title and figure that out. And if I was the one in this situation, I would get that money from that family member first before I transfer the property to them. Because they might very well tell you, hey, I'm going to pay, yeah, I'll pay whatever taxes. And then when it's time to pay is, well, you know, the monkey went up the banana tree, fell off, broke his back, you know, all the excuses kind of thing. So you have to be careful with this. And this is something that happens all the time. People do give property or sell property to a family member, but you have to be really careful what kind of tax implication it's going to have for you, or legal implication. So you definitely want to talk to an attorney, and you want to talk to an IRS expert, so that way, or an accountant or a CPA, so you know exactly what implications is going to happen if you do this transaction. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any other questions, or if you want to explore more about this topic, our number should be somewhere here in the left column or up here or somewhere below here. The 845 number is the best number to reach us on. We normally answer that more faster than the 407 number, but either number would work. So we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I'll see you in the next video.